Hey, it's Drew Bentley here with Learn Guitar with Drew. And today we're going to take a look at the CAGED system, but the minor chords of the CAGED system. So if you haven't played these yet, this might be fun. This is by request, by the way. If you like what you see here, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. And in the comment section down below, you'll find links for my websites and lots of good guitar resources. Okay, so the CAGED system is moving the basic chord forms up the guitar neck. If you haven't learned any of this yet, there's a couple of videos already on this channel in this little series. You can take a look back at those and see how those work, or you can take a ride today and go back and look at those a little later. But basically, the gods of guitar, as it were, so happen to make the CAGED system work the same for both major and minor, which is awesome. They work the same way up the neck, so it's not that hard to facilitate. However, two of them are a little bit elusive and kind of strange, and you may not have played them yet. Okay, so of the 5 chord forms, C, A, G, E, and D. So those are our basic 5 chord forms for guitar, hence the word CAGED. Okay, so 3 of these guys you've probably already played before with minor chords, and the other 2, chances are you may not have. So the A form, we've all played an A chord before. To make this a minor chord, we're going to flat the 3rd. So the 3rd of A is a C sharp. This is root 3rd and 5th. We flat the 3rd. We get the C natural note. So that note's right here. There's A major. There's A minor. Okay. So now the D chord, this triangle chord, the notes are D, F sharp, A, root 3rd, 5th. Flat the 3rd. Get an F natural. That note's right here. Okay, and then we also have E, E, G sharp, and B, and that's a root 3rd, 5th, flat the 3rd. That note's right here. So it's called parallel movement. To go from major to minor, you flat the 3rd of the triad, and you get the minor chord. So the fingering for the A chord: 2 D2, 3 G2, 4 B2. Pinky off, put your first finger on B1, you have A minor. The D chord, 1 G2, 3 B3, 2 high E2, flat the 3rd. Now this guy could be fingered either way. You can put your pinky on the B string or your 3rd finger. Depends on which direction you're headed. So that's D minor, 2 G2, 4 B3, 1 high E1. And then E major, E minor. And this may be the first chord you ever learned, possibly. Major, minor, 2, A2, and 3, D2. Okay, so you've probably seen those guys before, and that's pretty commonplace, I guess. The other 2 are kind of weird. C major, flat the 3rd, you get this note. And that looks like this. Well, that's a weird looking chord, right? The only time I've ever used that professionally was playing Desperado by the Eagles. I did a kind of a sing-along thing with acoustic guitar, and I decided to do that song. And that was pretty hard to grab on the fly there. That's C minor. Kind of an oddball. G as well. We have do, mi, so, mi, do. Root 3rd, 5th, root flat 3rd. For the major to minor. That guy looks like this. Or you could do this as well. So that looks like this. And then if I play this, it's the B flat is on the 3rd fret of G. If I play this, that's a minor 7 chord. That's a different animal. We're playing a triad here like this. Okay, so those guys are kind of weird. May or may not have done this before. Let's move these up the neck and take a look at how this works. When I was doing the little intro there, I was playing the chords from Pachelbel's Canon. There's 2 minor chords thrown into the chord progression, and we were using those going up the neck, and you can see how that worked. So it's pretty cool. So let's start with A to A minor. What we're going to do is we're going to use the next finger in line to play the chord. So this is 2 and 3. We're going to go 3, 4, 2 instead. So that's kind of a sort of a truism for CAGED. It works most of the time. Next finger in line, it looks like that. As we move up the neck, we get the next form. So if this is A minor, this next one is A sharp minor. So there's a couple videos on the channel already about how to learn the notes on the fretboard. If you don't know that, you can go back and reference those as well and learn how all these notes work. Right now we're just going chromatically up the string. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So that's how the chords work. So if I play an A minor here, I have A sharp minor, B minor, C minor, C sharp minor, etc. Okay, same thing applies to D. This is my D chord. I'm going to use this, the 3rd, 4th, and 2nd finger, which is the next finger in line theory. Move that 1 fret higher. D sharp minor. Here I have E minor. You can see there's a little D minor chord right there. Now there's other string groupings we can do as well. The next video I'm going to do on the CAGED system is going to be about string groupings, and then we're going to take this even to another level of how to do this. But I figured we should throw the minor chords in first if you haven't done those, because they're really important as well. So 2nd and 3rd finger. I'm going to use the next finger in line, 3rd and 4th. Move that up 1 fret. F minor, sharp minor, G minor, C sharp minor, A minor. Okay, so those 3 chord forms are kind of commonplace. Seen that a bunch of times. Something like that. Kind of an alien sound. Now, the other 2 are the odd man out. These guys can get kind of a little weirder. Okay, so let's take a look first at C. So the C chord was kind of hard. If we take the C chord and play the CAGED system D instead, which is basically C, 2 frets higher, I'm going to flat the 3rd again. Get this guy, so I can make this little triangle like this for D minor. It's 2, D3, 1, G2, 3, B3, and I can put my 4th finger on high E5 if I want to, or I can just play this as the triad. And I can also do this. So what happens here is you can see there's a little bit of a connection. I call it like the apartment buildings. Apartments are connected to each other. D minor, put the F in the bass here. It's the same notes as this, or here. So this is a very useful chord. It's done all the time. Metallica's got songs like kind of a metal kind of feel. And that's used a lot, that C minor form. Very cool. Can be very useful. There's an A minor right there. So I'm playing A minor. See how you can use that little CAGED stamp right there? Pretty cool. That's awesome for rhythm playing. You just throw a little thing in there. So the next one is weird, is G minor. This one's probably even harder to explain, but if I look at my G chord like this, 1 fret higher, it's G sharp, and then I have A chord, right? I can make a G minor, or sorry, A minor like this. Remember I put my pinky across the G string here. So if my A chord is here, here's A minor, or I could do this. So that's a string grouping of 5, 3, 2, 1. We're going to get to that in the next lesson. As you can see, it's the same as this up here. Okay, so these are super useful shapes. I look at these as being the sort of kind of the piano chords. Like if you look at Bon Jovi, you know, that kind of thing. It's going like the top of the chord forms. You can hear the piano doing these G form, K system forms. I love them. They're underused. They should be used a lot more than they are, but they're great sounding. So we have 5 minor chord forms through the K system: C, A, G, E, and D. And if we move them up, 3 of them are pretty easy to remember, and 2 maybe not so much. Let's go back through these again through Pachelbel's canon slowly, and I'll show you how I applied them. Not the canon, but the chords. Here's the D chord first. Then I played this A chord. This is an A, first inversion with the C sharp in the bass. I did that for chromatic voice leading. Here is my B minor and a G minor form. Now, how does that work? Check it out. G minor, G sharp, A sharp, B. There it is. I could have done this too. That, or this, or this. Three different options. So this guy. So this looks just like G. Sounds like Moonlight Sonata or something. Here's this. Or I could bar my pinky like this and go. There's that one. There's this one. There's this one. And then C minor is the next. Well, this is D minor actually next for the canon. I could do my F sharp minor chord here. D minor. Now if I wanted to make that C, I could do this. Here's my F sharp note for my F sharp major chord. Flat to third. Little triangle. And my pinky. Or put it here. Like this. So you can see the C forms illustrated by doing these chords in the key. If you look at the video on the channel about what is a key, I go through those shapes for that video. And take a look at that. So that's the 5 chord forms: C, A, G, E, and D. We have A minor, D minor, G. The other easy one is E minor, G minor, or this, and then C minor. And we can play this up the neck and play a cool thing. So if we play D minor here, D minor here, D minor here, D minor's here, D minor's here. Those really slowly. These are all the D minors. Just starting on A minor form. Next one is G, spelling out caged. Or here. Or here. Here's the E minor form. The D minor form is D minor. Or up here like this. And then here's the form with the C. Okay, and I said this, and this on the major chord, so it's happy. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Those are kind of tough little rascals, but if you take your time, just flat the third from the major forms, you'll find your minor forms. And those can be moved up the neck, and it's really useful when you have a chord progression that has a minor chord in it to be able to do that everywhere. Okay, so the next lesson in this series will be about string groupings, how to put the CAGED system into string groupings, so stick around for that one. And thanks so much for checking out the video. If you got value from this, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. And in the comment section down below, you'll find all those links for all the resources. And I look forward to seeing you at our next lesson.